And, you know, sometimes it's just a question of timing, isn't it, as well as to where, you know, a band like Elbow—it's been going for so long, 10 or 15 years, as you said, and suddenly the timing's right. Yes, you get the Brit Award, that helps, and then it explodes. It happens that quickly, can't it? Suddenly, after 10 years, it happens that quickly.
Yeah. I mean, it's the classic case where, you know, there are 600,000 people in the UK who think Elbow are a new band, you know. But I think that's the way music works these days. You know, you have to graft for a long time, and then you have those magical moments, some of which are marketed or some of which are created. Others are they're just moments. They're bits of fairy dust, you know.
They're literally just magical moments that happen, and the timing is right suddenly, all of a sudden.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, you've got other bands on the Fiction label, notably Kate Nash, and of course the White Lies. And are these both artists that you brought onto the label?
Yeah, absolutely. We're a pretty tight team here. There's me, Alex Close, who's my A&R manager, and Ellie Giles, who's my scout. And between the three of us, we bring in all the music that is signed to the Fiction roster. Kate was just one of those people that you meet and fall in love with. She's amazing, a total force of nature. Alex brought her in and we got to know her over 6 months, helped her out with bits of recording and touring and all that kind of stuff, and then cemented it by making a brilliant record, and, you know, well, she's done the rest, I think. And the White Lies, again, heard a demo. Ellie played us the demo. We all went down, met them.
So that's a demo that was actually sent to you, that someone had just, you know, got in contact with you?
No, not really. I mean, it's kind of a mixture of MySpace, demos, managers you know. The White Lies had just been taken on by an extremely good manager, and word was starting to creep out that he had a new player, so to speak. So we kind of investigated it that way.
So you know what Fame Games do in terms of trying to do, in terms of a radio show, trying to, well, let's put it loosely from the beginning, trying to do an X Factor or a American Idol, but for indie artists. How important do you think that is? Do you think that's a great platform for indie artists to get noticed?
I think it's a platform. I'm not sure it's the be-all and end-all. I don't think anything is, really. I think there's places for every sort of area for it to work in. If you're brilliant, it will cut through. If you're on the Fame Game and you're brilliant and you win, it'll cut through. That's the way music is. It either connects with people or it doesn't.
So what do you think? Where are you at the moment? Often there's so many stories in the press or on the internet about the imminent death of the big labels. Where are we now? Where do we stand? What state is the music industry in?
I think it's an incredibly confused state at the moment. I think some of it's brilliant and some of it's terrible. Some of it's changing, some of it's remaining the same. It really is all over the shop. There's one thing for sure, the way that it has worked over the past 10, 15 years is not going to be the way that it works in 5 years. Every day something new pops up that is going to change the way people consume music, the way they discover music. But I actually think the music is stronger and better than it's ever been. I think that's kind of half the problem, is that people are spoilt for choice. You know, it's very easy to get access to music. It's very easy to buy it, to steal it. It's, you know, the access is ridiculous.
But you say you've got scouts, obviously you have in the A&R department while you head up this whole label. People must be doing that scouting as part of the way it all works on a small or big label. So, I mean, how important are the likes of, you mentioned MySpace, how has that changed things, and how has, even I suppose Fame Games, we've done that in creating another kind of an A&R platform. So how important is the internet, do you think, for artists trying to break through?
Well, I think it can be massive, absolutely massive. MySpace, for example, is on-demand online radio, basically. I hear a name of an act, I go to MySpace, bang, I've got it, I can listen to it straight away. And based on that, I can make a decision whether I like it or not. So if you've got something that people like, Kate Nash was a perfect example of that, where the MySpace was on fire. And the irony being that the radio didn't really pay any attention to that. And it was only really when the single came out that we could prove to everybody that she was a success, a phenomenon, something that people were were prepared to invest in. So yeah, I think it's unbelievably important and kind of never-ending, really, the possibilities for music within it. You know?
So you'll suddenly get you'll hear of someone and you immediately go to a MySpace to check them out. I mean, they're obviously going to be on there, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's too easy. It's way too easy. I mean, the other thing you're relying on, which we sort of slightly take for granted, is you know, sometimes music is more than one listen. And the MySpace generation is all about one listen, which I find is disappointing. But it means that there is, if you've got patience and belief, you can grow bands over time, but you have to be patient and you have to believe, you know. And it's
but you mentioned earlier on, I mean, it's all about, surely it's still all about getting the right management, getting the right advice. I think you mentioned about with the White Lies, was it, or with Kate, that they've got a new manager and suddenly, you know, they get to the right people, they get to you know, there's a formula in that, isn't there?
I'm not sure there is a formula, to be honest. I think that's a lot of it's down to the artist, a lot of it's down to the people the artist surrounds themselves with. You know, it's how do you get from A to B? I don't know. Some people go by bike, some people get the tube. You know, it's everybody does it in their own little way.
Well, I know you get the tube sometimes, don't you? Well, my brother's being driven around in a Rolls Royce. I'm not sure who's right or wrong. Who cares? But I guess what I would like to ask you is, you know, we've got all these indie artists out there. We've spoken about this before, indie rock artists. I mean, what would be your tips? You know, have you got any other advice? Are we missing a trick here with a Fame Games or an internet thing? What are your tips for these guys to move forward and to focus on to enable them to get signed as a new artist?
Be brilliant. Be brilliant, be convicted, single-minded, but listen as well. I think that's it, really. You know, you really have got to want it, you know.